Okay, so I wanted to do a video on, actually, I want to do a couple videos on kind of trading basics. I talk to a lot of people and they're kind of like unsure where to start, what to read. There's a lot of information on, social media platforms from different individuals on YouTube. There's just kind of almost like a information overload sometimes whenever you go look for trading, and it's kind of hard to maybe build like any sort of confidence in what you're reading or seeing, especially on some like trading um, forums and stuff like that. I forget all the names of them now because I don't really use them anymore. I find a lot of that stuff is a bunch of noise. Whenever I was starting to learn how to trade, I kind of did go on there, but then I quickly found out, uh, like I said, it's just a bunch of noise. Um, Not many people know what they're talking about. Trading's hard. I mean, you talk to somebody who trades successfully. It's a small, group. It's very difficult to find someone who's successful in your everyday life. The people have tried it, made a little bit of money, but finding someone who actually does it for a living is very difficult. But as far as resources go, kind of one of the first websites that I found to be extremely useful was Chart School. So you can go in here, they have so much information on indicators, analysis, um, just anything. If I type in, so today I'm going to go over channels. So let's just type in channels exactly like that and see what comes up. So price channels, regression channels, there's just so much information. So let's go off of, let's see what price channels is. This is exactly what I'm going to go over today. Um, so yeah, I wanted to show that. And then also I did a trading basics video on candles. So if I would type in candles, oh, wrong one. I typed it into the symbols. That's not where I wanted to type it. Right here, candles. Right, so candlesticks. So this is all about candlesticks and setups. Doesn't necessarily tell you how to read them, but it tells you about different setups that are useful. Like I said, I use the doji candles, dragonfly dojis. I look at for those for reversals. Um, let's look at maybe just type in something simple because that's what I went over the first video was candles. How to read a candle. Maybe here. What are charts? Oh yeah, that was it right there. Yep, high, low, close. This is a different type of candle, but your traditional candles here. Yeah, so there you go, candlestick chart. That's kind of what I went over. But I'm not personally. I love to read things. Sometimes looking at this is kind of overwhelming. Sometimes people like to just watch a video, kind of explain it to them, then they can go back and read it and kind of understand it better. But so this basics of trading, I guess, video is going to be on trend lines and channels. So what I'm showing here is I'm showing oil, and what you can see, and this is a long-term chart. So this is a monthly chart. So every candle represents a month. And if you have to understand what a candle is, go to my previous video on candles. So this starts from July 2008, and I have it drawn all the way out till 2027. So a lot of people try to, they pay attention to the price of oil because it affects their, the gas prices. So what I did here was, and with a trend line, you kind of want at least 3 points touching. So what's this? It's kind of outside. I definitely drew this one on the longer time frame, and I find that channels work better for me anyway, and what I've found in the way I trade in long term. So monthly, weekly, daily, maybe sometimes on the 4 hour and hourly, but I really don't use them as indications there. I have other stuff to use. But what I wanted to show here is, a lot of people say, oh, oil is going to go back to $100 a barrel or something like that. We're on a trend that is more than 10 years old. 18, 19, 20, 21, 13 years old. So are we going to see $100 oil? You're going to have to break a trend, a global macro trend of oil descending down for the last 13 years. So, but what I want to show here is this trend line is showing me a descending trend. There's a saying, a trend is your friend. Well, here you see that oil's on a downtrend. So that's, a declining trend line. You could have drawn something here if I want to show an ascending trend line here, and kind of like a trend internal to the larger trend. Now this only has 2 points. I want something with 3 points. Maybe this one. Let's see. Yeah, something like this maybe. The trend was more here. Oil's not good. We're going to go to more charts. But anyway, this is a downtrend. That's what I wanted to show. Monthly chart. And then we'll go. I have this drawn because this is another, like I said, I wanted to show trends in channels. So this is a horizontal channel. And the way these channels work, I drew it on the weekly. So, and if you watch some of my previous videos, I don't have all my indicators up because this is just focusing on trend lines and channels. But the way this works is you have a channel that formed, and then you're looking, the way you would trade this is once you have a green candle close above kind of maybe the prior green candle and above the channel, you could take a position, and then your target is the height of your channel here. And that's what this arrow represents. So I drew that already. So the channel is drawn between $31 and $43, about. And then the height gives me a target of 55. So I would have entered here. I would have entered here on the breakout that week. This is a weekly channel, but you would have taken the trade on the daily. So as soon as the daily closed above this, which is right here, you would have taken, I'll draw it here. You would have taken the trade, right? So about right here, and right now you would be up about 8% on oil if you would have taken an oil position, with a long-term target of about $55. So that'd be a long-term hold. You would probably expect to hold this. Oil's not that volatile. You would probably expect to hold this on the time frame of maybe the better half of the year, right? Maybe through the summer. You would have entered in November of 2020 with a time horizon of 6 to 8 months. Now let me go. I know this is on channels and trend lines, but I have something called a TD sequential. It's my base for trading. This could give me a time, right? So I'm on a 2, then count goes to 9. I'm on a reversal right now, but the count goes to 9. I could potentially say within the next 7 weeks after I would have entered the trade, I could be here. That would have been an aggressive move. Let's look at the monthly though. Monthly was on a 3, so if I want to go based off of a monthly, I could say I'm in it for at least another 8 months, and I said 6 to 8 months until it reaches this top. Channels don't always play through. A lot of the times, and what you could be seeing here, you could be seeing a retest of the breakout, and that happens. It's common in channels. You get a breakout and then a retest of the breakout. So I would have broken out, and then where am I at? I get a retest of the breakout, and here, if price doesn't hold and it falls through, that means this channel is no longer valid. But if you end up coming here, you bounce, then you go higher, then that's maybe on this second retest, and then on the second one, you'd get your target. Again, this is long-term. This is on a trend lines and channels I found work better on long-term charts. So this is a position that you're going to be sitting in for a while. At least put a 3-month time frame on it, potentially a year. The way I trade and what I found on channels and trend lines is that they're better on a yearly, monthly, weekly basis. So let's go to another one. I think gold, there's a nice channel, horizontal channel breakout. Let's see, I might have it hidden. Yeah, so I'm going to draw one. And this is going to show you a channel. I'm not sure if it's going to work exactly like I'm expecting, but I can see it here. So parallel channel here, across, up, right here. It's probably, so there's a channel. My target would be the height of this channel. This is on a daily time frame now. Here. That's my target. So my target initially was 1815 on a breakout of 1750. It kind of did break out here and then retested here on this wick. But what you can kind of see is it went up. We did go higher. I mean, gold did rally. And then we're kind of back to where the support level is, which is similar to where we consolidated and then kind of where we broke out, because you can maybe draw this channel even higher. Maybe you can draw this channel here. But that's only one touch point. You would really want it here. I thought there was a much better, if I remembered correctly, on gold. But maybe not. Let me show you a descending channel on Ford. This thing has been here for a long time. I spotted it a while back. Here's a descending channel. So, all the way back from 2013, you had here, here, touched here. So these wicks, I kind of draw my channels. I don't include the wicks. I just include the bodies of the candles. So there, I mean, I'm trying to draw it here. It's an approximation, right? You're looking at the longer term trend. So this is a descending channel. And you had all these touches right there. Boom, it couldn't break it. It kind of moseyed on through the channel, hit it there. And then look at this. Right here. We had a rally, a bounce. I'm going to turn on this TD sequential to show this on how well this works. A 9. We went, 1 week later, consolidated. We rallied all through here on a 9. Exactly where the upper channel trend is. Upper part of the channel is. We hit a 9, a TD 9. So this would have told you, if I would have entered anywhere here, I see this long-term channel that's playing out, for the past 7 years. And then I'm getting a TD9. I can take my profits here with some confidence. And now we're pulling back. And on the 9, it's 1 to 4 candle. And we could break out. I mean, the significance of this breakout, something that's been holding price down for the last almost 7 years, what would the target be? So the way you draw this, I've seen it done a couple ways. You can do it here, like that. And the breakout would give you a target about $14. I've seen it drawn like this as well. So here to here. And this should give you price that's close. And you draw it where the breakout is. So the breakout didn't happen here. If the breakout would have happened here, it would be around 15 would be the target. Say it happens here, 14. So that's the way you would draw those. Again, this breakout is just to give you, it's a strategy, it's a guide. It's trying to guide you along your trade. So, if I would have drawn it this way here, from where it bounced and took off, that could have given me a price between 1460, and then if you would have drawn it linearly or vertically, 1560. So you have a, say, 1460 to 1560 window on this trend breakout, to where if price ran, that could give you an area of, hey, I need to pay attention. I need to see what's going on with price. I need to maybe implement some other indicators. But as far as channels go, this is a very, very good. I haven't found an example much better than this on a long term, on an asset this long term, other than Ford, where this descending kind of trend is. Let's look at Tesla, because on Tesla, and again, I'm doing this cold, trying to find examples quickly. Oh, I have something else drawn here. That'll be another video. But I can draw, let me hide this. That worked out, by the way, this trend. Those are triangles, and I'll go over those at a later date. So you can kind of see here, maybe we have a long-term trend. Oh, it's not as nice as I want it to be. It'd be more steep. Let's see. So, and also thing about this, me doing this kind of cold, it gives you, it's like practice. So, let's do Apple. Like I'm going through charts. I'm showing you how what the process is. You know, I'm showing you good examples. You know, maybe I see a channel and I go to draw it and like, oh no, it's not quite a channel. You don't want to force anything. You're drawing these trend lines. You don't want to make the chart. Don't try to, make the chart give you something that's not there. Because once you look at a chart long enough, you could make it become whatever you want, or you can manipulate it. It's something that's quick. You're going, you're looking. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. Let's do this one. So this is like an upper trend. You had all this support, all these touches on this trend line. Let me zoom in on this because this looks good. Right? All these support touches, let's draw this up a little bit more here. Here's some of it's including the wicks, right? So yeah, there we go. So you would have entered September 2019. Your trend would have carried you all the way, and then you could have even made this an ascending channel, right? A little tight. It's kind of opening as well. Maybe you would have drawn it. Nah, it's not a good channel, but it's a good ascent. It's a good trend line, upward trend line. As soon as that breaks, I mean that's a big break though. You would have lost 12%. But what would you have gained? Because kind of realistically, this could have gone all the way over here. But what would you have gained? Long term, 36%. If you would have got it on the in this week here. So you have long term trend. You would have been up much more. But then the week opens and you break your trend line. That would have been an indication. Hey, get out. And then you have a downward trend that develops, that starts to develop. So you could have, you would kind of ideally draw it here. And it didn't develop for that long, but I bet you on a daily it did. This is that drop. It's kind of sporadic. It's a little all over the place. This could be a good descending trend here. Nope, that's not nice either. That's not. Let's look at something else. Let's look at what's a hot stock right now? Let's look at I don't know. Let's look at Microsoft. No, not much of a. I mean, more ascending consolidation channels, right? They're all here. There's a channel right here. Right there, breakout, target, initial target. Boom, right there. And then you reevaluate. Let's look at, I saw one as I was typing this in, AMD. No, it's something else. That's cup and handle, which kind of worked out. Man, I really want to find a descending trend. Let's look at Bitcoin, only because I look at it so much. Maybe we'll find something on there. Nope, no descending trend, really. Let's look at a smaller time frame. Maybe there's something there. Yeah, maybe this. Like I said, trend lines work a little bit better on longer time frames, but for the sake of this video, I want to show you a downward trend. I don't like that one either. Man, maybe I should have prepped a little bit better. Let's try, I don't know, I'm just Cisco Systems. I don't even know. It just popped in my mind for some reason. No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at, even though it didn't work out, I do know that there's a downward trend here. Here we go. So, here we go. Right here. So this is a random stock. It's marijuana stock. But there's like a downward trend. It's not a long term. It's only on daily. And I do have one drawn on the weekly, but I don't like the way the touch points are because it includes more wicks. Let's do Disney. Oh, come on, Disney. It's Disney gonna. Oh, that's not Disney. Come on, I can't find a downward trend. Man, everyone's just making money. There's no downward trends. Oh, I know what might have one. Kodak, even though... There we go. There we go. Here's a good one. Kodak. A little bit longer term on the weekly. It's even a descending channel, too. I mean, that Ford one, I guess, is a kind of a good example. There we go. That's it right there. Because it does, but it's a channel. It's more of a, and this is kind of a channel too, but you have a descending price action. And maybe, if you would have included the wicks, you can kind of get something even longer, but I don't like to include the wicks. I don't like the way they form on my chart. And these didn't really touch. See, there's a lot of separation there. This is the better trend. Even though the general trend is downward, I want to show you what a downward trend line really is, because you're looking for 3 or more touches for it to be a confirmed trend. Even though it's kind of an approximation as well on the trend. But this is it. This is it right there. So you have the start. This one kind of got there. 2, not so much. And then here you're moseying along, you kind of consolidate it, and then you break out. But trend lines don't give you price targets, right? They just show you that there's a trend, a downward trend or an upward trend. I don't necessarily use them all the time unless I'm, again, looking at long-term charts. It's not something that I don't really enter trades with on trend lines, downward trend lines or upward trend lines. I'll take a trade on a channel, but the channels I'm looking at are those horizontal channels. Those I find work for breakouts and maybe shorting something or seeing that something's going to break down. Because they're a little bit more neutral. They give you a potential breakdown and a potential breakout, up higher or down lower, where these trend lines just tell you, hey, it's going down, or hey, it's trending up. So, but I kind of want to show that, and this could be, I mean, can I make a channel here? No, not really. But I knew there was one there. So I went over ascending, descending trends, channels, horizontal channels. Do we have upward channels that break down? Let's do, let's look at, I know that there's a company market cap. Maybe we can find some examples here. Company market cap. There we go. So let's look at Saudi Aramco. And we can look at Amazon. I don't think they're going to break down though. These are top ones. We can look at Facebook. There's one. I think there's one. Sending channels that break down. Sure. Let's see. You have that one candle that's not going to make it nice. Visa. I think Visa. I think I drawn some stuff on Visa a while back. Was it not going to load? Did I not? Guess I didn't. Let's see. Here, but we have a trend. That's a nice trend. It's a nice trend. Here's a channel. It's kind of opening, but you have an upper part of the channel, which this is okay. And then we had a breakdown. It's not exactly, kind of parallel and at the same angle, but it's definitely here. And then I broke down on the upper part. If I draw this like this, my breakdown is here, and my target is right where I break down. Let me extend this out a little bit. You would have broke down here. And there's your target, which is about where it went. So this is saying 121. This is 121. It hit it. If I would have drawn it vertically, because I would have had to extend this out here. And I don't necessarily get 3 touches. I do get 3 touches, but it's a broadening. This is like a broadening. And then I broke down here. See, this is going to give you a much bearish price target. So the angled one was better. So maybe we go with the angled ones. Again, I'm just showing these because they exist. I really don't use the ascending channels, and this isn't exactly perfect. It's more of a trend up with a breakdown. But I wanted to show these channels and trend lines and horizontal channels. I like horizontal channels. I like channels where they're more symmetrical, like on Ford. It's not really broadening. It is kind of broadening towards the end, but it's a nice channel. Let's see if we can draw one here. Maybe. Yeah. It's a little bit more symmetrical. Still opens up a little bit, but it's a little bit more symmetrical. Again, you don't want to force the chart to make it look like something you want. The chart's going to give you what it gives you. If you don't see something, it's not there. So that could have been a channel. And then what's my breakdown? I broke down here, about right here. I mean, eventually we went there. 1519. Like I said, channels, they'll give you resistance. Sometimes they'll give you some good targets. But I wanted to go over them to show you longer term trend, resistance, support levels, kind of that they exist. But there's much better the TD sequential, and that is much better as far as time targets and potential breakout areas to you know that have more value potentially than the targets for the channels. The targets for the channels are going to give you approximation areas of where price could go upon those breakouts. But I like descending channels. I mean, if you take one thing away, you can maybe put a little bit more weight on your horizontal channels. But yeah, I want to go over these because they're part of trading, things you should know. Thanks for watching.